All right, Mike, first of all, let me tell you I super appreciate your helping doing this. Um, my history is back in the day, many years ago, I was an ASE certified auto mechanic. I specialized in low voltage, and so I'm used to reading diagrams and schematics. Currently, today, I'm an audio video integrator, so I still work with lots of low voltage, auto home automation, etc. And so I'm used again to reading schematics and where things go. The trailer I have no schematics for, so I'm kind of diddling and guessing things. So, and I just recently am getting over a long hauler syndrome from COVID. So my brain is kind of foggy. I'm certainly not at 100%. I'm operating somewhere with my brain between 65 and 75%. So I don't want to continue diddling with things until I know exactly what's going on. So you had a specific question about the white bundle. So let me tell you what I've found. I have 3 pairs coming out of the original awning light switch. One is an orange-white striped mated with a solid white. I followed that back to the TV antenna booster, which is only about 2 feet away. The second pair of orange-white striped and orange is my awning LED. Has orange white stripe and white. My third pair is unknown specifically to me because it is a blue white attached to white. I can follow it by looking in the hole. Here I've taken this off, and I've also taken off the antenna booster, and it appears that the blue white just kind of fishes its way behind the tuner head power wires, the coax cable, and all the rest of the wiring behind this cabinetry area and inside this hollowed out space. And it appears to me that the blue-white just kind of snaggles through there and heads directly into a smaller hole, which then leads me to believe that that blue-white travels either underneath this cabinet, past this puck light, or down and over, and they somehow ends up over here by the inverter breaker fuse panel box. And that's just an assumption. Another assumption is that it's because the blue-white is attached to a 5 amp inline fuse. So the blue-white is pigtailed to the 5 amp fuse, which has a spade connector on it, which plugged into one side of the original awning light switch. The other 2 orange-white stripes also are pigtailed together and were connected to the other spade connector on the original awning switch. So that seemed to be the circuit interrupter between the fused line and the pair of orange stripe cables. All 3 of the whites, solid whites, come together here. So one of these is the TV antenna ground, I presume. The other is the awning light ground. And then the other is fed off the blue-white. And I assume this white is the ground to the coach. So, like I said, one's an awning LED ground, one is the antenna booster ground, and then the other at the ground, I presume, runs back to the coach area. When I put the fuse back in, the switch on here works great. The dimmer, however, I'm only getting a voltage drop between, like, I think it was 12.78 to 12.74, 12.78, so just like hundredths of a volt, which I don't think is going to really affect much of any light control. And then I take my black ground and I mated it up with that bundle of 3 grounds. So off my new dimmer, I've got my ground going to what I presume is my 3 solid whites, which I assume are grounds. My red off my dimmer connects directly on to the spade connector temporarily, which is in line with my 5 ampere fuse, and which then pigtails to the blue stripe. The white off my dimmer, which is supposed to be a hot neutral, I've connected to the spade connector with both the orange stripes, which one leads to the awning light and one leads back to the TV booster. So again, my brain's not 100%, so lately I've had to question myself. You know, instead of measuring twice, cutting once, I have to measure like 8 times and then cut once. So I'm not fully there in the brain, and my wife would tell you that's normal. But anyhow, if somebody can help me with that, would be great. If I've got a faulty dimmer, I'll return it and go a different route. I just didn't want to go with a simple rotary. I'm kind of into the cool factor, so I thought having a separate switch with a dimmer that I could mount lower down here, so when you come in through the door, you can access it rather than having to take 2 steps up and reaching way high up here. And here I'd probably just put a blank or something in the future, but for right now I'd probably just put a black blank over this and then relocate my dimmer switch down here. So that's my plan. If you guys can help me out, man, I'd appreciate it. Thank you very much.